The base lights are out. Don Shaw on the front row with John Cornell. Your only main event winner this year with last year's champion. Green flags in the air. It's time to let her eat. Brad Williams did not get going to that number 23 on that start. Craig Parker actually stuck down to his inside. Some contact was made as that will call him back actually. As 25 laps the distance. Green flag in the air. It's time to let her eat. SWDRA late models working into turn number 1. And it will be the driver out of Ham Lake, Minnesota with the race lead. Don Shaw in the 42S. John Cornell in that second spot as Scott Sluka has to pull up to the outside of the 89 machine of James Lang. Sluka will sneak by James Lang as Don Shaw leads lap number 1 with Cornell in second. Sluka will be in that third spot as Brad Williams now pulls up side by side with the 89 of Lang. Lang up on the top side, Brad Williams down low. They're still side by side going into turn number 3. Also got the 28W of Jim Whistler back there in the mix as well. So Lang and Williams still side by side. That is a battle for the 4th spot. Whistler right there in the 28W trying to make it a 3-car battle as they work their way off of turn number 2 down into turn number 3. Still Lang up on the top side of the racetrack with Williams down low. Whistler going to follow the tire tracks on the 89 machine of Lang as he'll finally clear the 23 machine of Brad Williams. Now Williams trying to fight back on the inside. Can't quite do it as they work their way off of turn number 2. Off turn number 4, your race leader Don Shaw leads the field with John Cornell in second, followed by Scott Sluka in that third spot. Those 3 drivers right now in their own zip code as Don Shaw getting ready to put Paul Rios 1 lap down. Don Shaw starting to work some lap traffic, has to get evasive now as he comes up into the 33 machine of Don Curtis. Curtis very slow on the racetrack on the top side, took away Don Shaw's line, but he was able to work by him with no issue. So you have John Cornell and Scott Sluka do the same as they start work over Sluka and Curtis, or Rios and Curtis, as James Lang and Brad Williams still playing a little peekaboo with each other for that 4th position. Lang he has on the top side of the racetrack. Brad Williams able to make it something work down there on the bottom side of the track, find some grip as well, he will get passed now by Jim Whistler. So it looks like the grip might be gone there on the bottom side of the racetrack, but that's going to stop Brad Williams for catfishing. He continues to catfish on the bottom side of the racetrack, but will lose the spot to Jim Whistler. Don Shaw right now getting held up here by the 88 machine of Lee Hoy as they work off a turn at number 2. See if that allows John Cornell to come back and catch him as they work off a turn number 4. Shaw will clear Lee Hoy. Cornell still trying to work his way around the outside, or around the 88 machine. Scott Sluka just made it by the 107 of Kelly Johnson. So Brad Williams was able to get back by the 28W of Jim Whistler. Right now trying to work his way back around the 89 machine of James Lang. This time, though, Brad Williams is going to go to the top side of the racetrack, trying to find some grip up there, ripping the lip, along with the rest of the field as they work their way off at turn number 2. Brad Williams peeks his nose down the inside of the 89 machine of Lang. Can't quite do anything with him. Whistler right there ready to pounce. Now Williams is going to drop the car down the inside as Lang, Williams, and Whistler trying to work their way around the 33 machine of Curtis. Don Shaw out front, just went 3 wide to get around Steve Stoltz and the 35 of Brian Schultz. Don Shaw very, very fast here tonight. Right now his own zip code has 2 cars to his buffer right now with the 28 of Cornell in second. Scott Sluka is starting to reel in that 28 machine though. We could have a battle for second before this race is over. Just 13 laps left as they cross the start-finish line that last time. 13 laps to go here tonight's main event for SWDRA late models. And Brad Williams still can't do anything with James Lang as they work their way off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, putting Kelly Johnson a lap down. Whistler in the mix as well back there behind them, along with Craig Parker and the 81 machine of Bud Grossenbacher. Everybody right now using the top side of the racetrack. Don Shaw getting ready to lap the number 40 machine of Dana Fight. Dana Fight, the 9th place driver right now. So once Don Shaw works his way around the number 40 machine, there will be 8 cars left on the lead lap, and I don't think Don Shaw's done yet in that 42S. Further on behind him, John Cornell just got around Don Curtis. Scott Sluka has some issues working his way around Brian Schultz and Steve Stoltz, though, as they race off a turn number 2. Also has Curtis up ahead of them as well. So Scott Sluka losing a lot of momentum right now, catching these lap cars at the wrong time. Just cannot get by those 3 cars. And trouble right there for Sluka. Almost made contact with the outside wall off a turn at number 4. Still having his issues working around this lap cars. As Don Shaw not having any issues at all right now, trying to work his way around the 22B of Bruce Duckett. Bruce Duckett right now being scored in that 8th spot. Move him 1 lap down, so 7 cars left on the lead lap. John Cornell has 3 cars in between himself and the race leader, Don Shaw. And Cornell's going to have a chance for this main event. He's going to need Don Shaw to get stuck and mired behind some heavy traffic here. And there's a lot of traffic right ahead of him as Brad Williams sneaks by James Lang for that 3rd spot once again. So Williams moves back into the 3rd spot, move Lang back to 4th as Whistler almost lost the car off of turn number 4. He's right ahead of your race leader, the 42S of Don Shaw. So Don Shaw right now stuck behind Craig Parker, Bud Grossenbarker in the 88 of Lee Hoy, trying to navigate his way through this lap traffic. John Cornell, if he's going to be able to mount a comeback, it's got to happen right here. But Don Shaw gets around Lee Hoy on the outside as 5 laps are left here in this SWDRA late model main event. As Bud Grossenbacher and Craig Parker in his sights does the 42S of Don Shaw. In his own zip code. As right now everybody is racing in Queen Creek, Arizona. I believe Don Shaw is already back in Ham Lake, Minnesota. That's how far out away he is of these drivers as the laps wind down. He is slicing and dicing his way through the lap traffic. Not having any issues like Martin Truex complained about last weekend in the NASCAR race. Don Shaw, it is all him right now in that 42S. Drives it into turn number 3. Gets around Jim Whistler. Going to try to get past the 89 machine of James Lang. As John Cornell couldn't quite do anything with him. So the white flag will fly this time for the 42S of Don Shaw. White flag flies. He's right behind right behind the 89 machine of James Lang as they work off of turn number 2. Don Shaw didn't know if he was going to run this main event tonight until midweek, and here he is in victory lane for the 2nd time of the year here for the SWDRA late models. So Don Shaw climbs out of the race car. The 2nd main event win of the year here for the SWDRA late models. Driver out of Ham Lake, Minnesota, put an absolute whooping on him here tonight. Well, Don, didn't know if we were going to get you out here before you made the drive up to Ham Lake, Minnesota, but here you are, victory lane once again here, 2nd time this year for the SWDRA late models.
Yeah, no, it's been going good. Finally got the car working. We were here for the January race, and we were pretty pathetic then. But we got the car turned around, and I think we got it working pretty good. So
yeah, a little fine-tuning. You were in a class of your own, man. Coming up the lap traffic, I didn't know if you were going to be able to navigate your way through because there's some heavy lap traffic in front of you, but somehow you were just able to put this car wherever you wanted it to tonight.
Yeah, it was really drivable. I mean, the car's been awesome. Last 2 races, I guess, and you know, I hope it keeps going that way with this car because it's hard to find a good setup for a car that works good. And I was a little loose at the end there, but there was enough cushion to run around on. So
yeah, definitely a lot of cushion and had this hot rod dialed in. I know you got a lot of sponsors you got to thank to helping you get this car dialed in.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Shaw Trucking, all my guys back there, first of all, and then we got Blaine Brothers, we got Northern Metal and Recycling, Lube Tech, we got Northern we got
Northern.
Yep, we got Northern.
Northern Metal Recycling. There we go.
Metal Recycling. We got Vic Hill. You know, he's his motors, as you can see, his motors are good. And Billy Moyer, of course, he definitely builds a good car, and him and I have been working on these things quite a bit. So I think it's all going to be good. But I'd like to thank my crew too. Kind of like a mismatched crew, but it worked tonight.
It definitely did work for your race fans. Give it up for Don Shaw one more time. Your main event winner here tonight. We'll catch up with John Cornell. Comes home in 2nd tonight. Well, John, just like Don was saying, you know, he came out here in January during our Wild West shootout. He kind of got his butt kicked. You got your butt kicked too, but hey, looks like you guys learned something here coming up with 2nd place finish tonight.
Well, yeah, we did get our butt kicked, but it was fun. It was fun to be a part of it, and just good to be racing. Good track. I want to thank Jonah. He had a great track tonight. It was fast. It was fun, and congratulations to Don. He was on his game like he always is, and a lot of fun.
All right, Scott Sluka over here taking a look at some of the wraps right now. John's driving so fast, the wraps coming off of that race car. And, well, Scott, you had a very fast hot right here tonight, just couldn't quite do anything with these top two.
No, these guys were fast. I want to thank John and Brad for giving me a drive line after hot laps. So it was great. Thanks a lot to Dan Parrish and EMD Wraps. It was a good time. I just flew in this morning from Alaska, so I'm heading back Monday.
Whew, I do not envy you, my man. No, we don't either, as the weather is heating up. Brad Williams had a pretty eventful little race there on the initial restart, just could not get going. Once you got the car dialed in, you and James Lang actually put on a pretty good battle there in that 89.
Yeah, James was going good there. I'm glad to see he got his car going good finally. He's been working hard to try to get that thing to go good, and he was running good. And we just weren't quite as fast as that 42 car out there tonight. It's kind of the Don Shaw tribute race here whenever he shows up. So, but we appreciate Don coming out and showing us what it takes to be fast.
All right, Brad Williams comes home in fourth tonight. Once again, congratulations.